Hello and welcome to this masterclass on how to find your way back to your heart. Welcome, those of you who are joining me live through the YouTube live feed and then over in Facebook land as well. Hello, Susan. Long time no see. Hey, Steven. Oh my goodness, you made it to Ecuador. That is amazing. Talk about a powerful manifester you are. I remember when you were thinking about it, and then when you started taking Spanish classes, and there you are now in Ecuador. Hello, Anne, all the way from Denmark, Copenhagen. Great that you could be with us. I know you're having a busy summer. Hello, Karine from Holland. Hello, Mary, all the way from Maryland. Mary's in Maryland. She is there in her homeland. Hello, Amanda. Great that you could be with us today as well. Thank you so much for being with us today on this special day. My intention is to share as much as I can with regards to very practical things that you can do to reconnect with your heart. And then at the end of our time together, guide us through a guided meditation that is in essence designed to deepen your connection with your own heart, so that from that greater place of connection, you can also then ask your heart for some guidance and direction. It's a wonderful thing to do around the time of the full moon. It also indicates the end of a cycle, as you may know. Hello, LG, tuning in from Ireland. Welcome. Thank you for being with us today. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and switch into presentation mode. And then, as I said, the very first part of our presentation will be primarily oriented for the left brain, all those left brainers. And then we'll move straight into the practical application. Okay, so we can leave then this masterclass with the experience of what it feels like to be more and more and more connected with your heart. All right. So if you have been wondering, why do I sometimes feel disconnected and lost? Okay. Many people who are new to spiritual path, especially to some form of heart-centered spiritual path, at the very beginning feel tremendous amount of joy and the feeling of enhanced sensory perception that comes when you start really perceiving life from this higher awareness that comes with a sense of joy. But then sooner or later, that connection, for whatever reason, is lost. And it almost feels like that sense of paradise lost. Like, what did I do? I was feeling so good and feeling so connected, and I was in the flow, and then suddenly things are not flowing anymore. So today I'm going to answer that question. Why do we sometimes then go through these moments of disconnection and feeling lost? Also, how do I find my way back to my heart and to what is ultimately most important and meaningful and valued to me? Because remember that ultimately your heart is kind of a metaphor for that place within you that is the place where there is meaning and value. Okay. And then finally, how can I follow my heart's wisdom, guidance, and direction? Okay, that's the essence of what the practice we're going to be doing today is all about. So if you've been wondering these things, then rest assured that you are in the right place. Now, I know something about what it means to live from the heart. And unfortunately, I learned it through the school of hard knocks and painful experiences. When back in 2007, I went to South Africa, and over a period of a few weeks, just 2 weeks, I lost my job, my career, my passport, my ID, my mother. And I went through what I can only refer to as the biggest spiritual crisis of my life. And at the same time, I also went through what I can only describe as hard awakening, where I learned basically there comes a time, I think, where many of us, um, if we have been numb to the little nudges that your heart is giving you, that your soul is trying to communicate to you through your heart, we keep ignoring it. Eventually, like the proverbial hammer comes in and cracks you wide open. So that's what happened to me in 2007. After years and years of really ignoring my heart's messages and my own soul's calling, I was put into a situation where I was forced to open, and it came with a tremendous amount of pain. As a result of that, I rebuilt my life, reinvented myself. And then for the past 10 years, I've been coaching, training, and mentoring people from all walks of life, teaching them a heart-centered approach to personal mastery, spiritual growth, and leadership development that helps people reconnect with their true self, so that from that greater place of connection with who you really are, you can then create a life that is a greater alignment with you, with what you value the most, those values that you hold within your heart, the unique purpose for which you came, and ultimately the deeper longings and desires of your heart. Hello, Karen. Hello, Shell. Hello, animation person. I'm just going. Hello, Francesca. Hello, Geraldine. Those of you who are joining us now. Perfect timing. We're just getting started. Okay, wonderful. So this is in essence the main reason why I created the Heart Leader Academy. Because after accumulating all this vast wisdom around the heart and working with so many people, and then especially focusing in the area of heart-centered leadership, I wanted to create an online learning center for anyone who wants to become the highest possible version of themselves, lead others more powerfully, and create a bigger impact in the world, to come together. I wanted to bring all those people who wanted to learn to do this by mastering these 9 essential skills of heart-centered leadership. These are, in essence, the leaderships that I teach and help my students develop through the Heart Leadership Academy. All right, so what we're going to be covering today is, first, what feeling disconnected and lost truly means, 7 ways that you can come home to your heart, 5 necessary steps to follow your heart's guidance. You're going to see that if you're not following all these steps, then you're missing out on great wisdom that could be coming from your heart. Next, we're going to be talking about possible steps that you could take if after this class you want to go deeper and you want to do this with me. And then at the end, we're going to do a guided meditation to help you connect to and follow your own heart's guidance. All right, so why do we feel disconnected and lost? Because you've had too much wine? because you stopped working on yourself and meditating? In my experience, though, that may be some of the reasons why I think some of us think that we're feeling disconnected and lost. But the truth is that when I look at my own life and my own relationship with this thing that I call feeling connected and experiencing the connection with my heart, there's something happening deeper inside during these periods of disconnection and loss. First of all, the moment when you realize that you're feeling disconnected from yourself, at that moment, you just could not be more connected. Why is that? Because it takes connection to know that you're disconnected. In other words, if you think of yourself as a toaster, okay, and then you know what it feels like to be plugged in and to feel all nice and warm when you're making toast, okay, the moment when you're not feeling the heat, it means that there is a high level of sensitivity and awareness built around what it feels like to be connected, which actually means that you're connected to yourself. You're almost like the toaster that is aware of itself, saying like, hey, wait a minute, why isn't the electricity flowing the way it normally flows? It's taking me a lot more work to toast this toast, or to toast this bread, rather, I should say. Okay, so the moment you become aware that you are disconnected, at that moment, you cannot be more connected. In fact, that is the beginning of your reconnection. Next, getting lost is also a necessary part of the journey. so that you can be found, because the only reason you get lost is so that you can once again find your way back over and over and over and over again, so that you can experience that contrast. Because ultimately, from a higher spiritual perspective, you're never lost. Okay, you're simply are experiencing the contrast of what it feels like to be misaligned. Okay, so I want to invite you to consider, or to reframe sometimes when you're feeling disconnected, with actually being misaligned. It's like you might just simply be aligning with something completely different, or with a different vibe, or with a different mindset, so to speak. Okay, and so our work is in essence to find that alignment, and then that the feeling of connection comes then from that feeling of alignment. And then finally, connecting with your heart is also a skill that can be learned and mastered. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes over time to get back. At the very beginning, for example, I remember when I started doing this work, it would take me several hours to find that connection again. All right. And sometimes even days, after going of days of just feeling disconnected. But that feeling of connection, I want you to think of it in terms of something that is created as a kind of like an awareness muscle. All right. Like when you go to the gym. The more you go to the gym, the more you exercise a muscle, the more that muscle breaks down, and the more it's built up, the stronger it becomes. So as you strengthen your capacity to be more and more and more connected, it becomes easier to find that connection. Okay. So let's go now to what are 7 practical ways that you can find your way back to your heart. And specific actionable steps that you can take so that you can feel clear, more confident, and empowered, which is one of the results, or one of the things that arises, or one of the consequences, the consequences of having this deeper heart connection. All right, number 1, reach out and touch someone. Touch is the sense that is associated with your heart, because there was a time in your tiny little human fetus experience when you were just pure cells and tiny, just like little skin connected to the skin, attached to the skin of your mother, and then feeling through the sense of touch the entire environment of what it felt like to be loved and held. So the way to the heart, I oftentimes like to say, is through the physical senses, and specifically through touch, through sound, touch, and movement, as we're about to see. But touch specifically stimulates your entire nervous system. And not only that, it stimulates the secretion of hormones like oxytocin, which is the hormone of connection. So it is very necessary to maintain optimal mental and emotional health. So reach out and touch someone. Hug somebody. Ask for a hug, even though sometimes, you can tell somebody, oh, you need a hug. All right. When in fact you are the one that needs the hug, but knowing that ultimately when you give that person the hug, they benefit from that touch. And then you also benefit directly from that same touch, because you can't hug somebody else without being hugged yourself. So touch other people. Pet your pet. I think that's why we call them pets, because we're always petting them, right? I assume that's where the meaning of the word comes from. Touch yourself. Be willing to spend time caressing yourself. Touch yourself everywhere. That, what it does, it brings you from the thinking mind into the experience of what it feels like to be alive in your physical body. And then it is through the body again, and through the feelings and the physical sensations, that we then establish this heart connection. Number 2, sing and dance to your favorite song. Nothing is going to bring you back into your heart faster than singing and dancing to the tune of one of your favorite music. Music is one of the things that has the capacity to not only connect you quickly to your heart via your emotions, but also changing your emotional state at any given time. It can also help enhance, and can also help you bring out emotions that have been buried or you have been repressing or suppressing. So choose music that makes your heart vibrate in the frequency that you enjoy and that make you feel fully alive. Okay. It's one of the reasons why I think about 5 years ago, I picked up my guitar and started playing music, and then slowly incorporating them in the Path of the Heart seminars. And then to the point where we started doing these song circles. And not only that, but we also started dancing with this wireless headsets where everybody's just dancing together and then moving their bodies. Okay, there is something magical that begins to happen when we start moving into the body or moving the body. Buenos días, Juana Murillo, Teresa, Emmanuel, welcome. Jean-Francois Figaro from the Seychelles. Oh my goodness, I was closer to you when I was living in South Africa. Hello, Karen. Hello, Ray Trinidad. Hello, Shell. Those of you guys who are making your way now, thank you again for being with us today. So, move, dance, drum, sing. Okay, this is another beautiful way to connect with your heart that can be extremely medicine. In fact, I've decided to call the body of my work right now, my musical work, which totals approximately nearly 90 songs now, medicine for the heart, because I believe that music is medicine for the heart. Number 3, spend quality time with people that you love. Just like a full battery can help jumpstart a drain one, spending quality time with those people, friends, family members, those, you know who they are. People that love you, that accept you for who you are. You don't have to be anything than your amazing, wonderful self. You don't have to change yourself. You don't have to pretend. Those are the people that you want to seek their company, okay? That can have an empowering effect. And if on top of that, you can receive a hug from them and you can even sing and dance with them, that will go a very, 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 very long ways. That is one of the things, by the way, that I've been running here in Granada a few cacao ceremonies. And that's one of the things that happens in these cacao ceremonies, that the majority of people that come to these cacao ceremonies, we've known each other for a while. So there's a lot of love and connection between us. And then on top of that, we come together to sing and to dance. And not only that, but also do some of the things that I'm going to talk about in a few moments, like meditating, for example. All right. So spend quality time with people that you love. Number 4, visit highly charged places in nature. Have you ever noticed how different you feel when you spend a whole day at the beach or near or inside a large body of water, near a mountain, any place that is highly charged? Okay, and the reason that happens is because you are an electromagnetic being, and at any given time, you have this accumulation of all this electromagnetic energy that you have picked up from your environment and from people around you. So by spending time in these highly charged places, one of the things that you're doing is you're not only releasing all this excess electromagnetic energy, but you're allowing the earth, the mother, Pachamama, to, in essence, nurture back all these electromagnetic energy into your body and replenishing the cells. Okay, so I remember in South Africa, I remember that was the main reason why I chose Noordhoek to live in. Noordhoek Beach. It's a beautiful part of South Africa, and it's called the North Hook. Very, very close to the Table Mountain National Park, and the energy there is incredibly powerful. I was barefoot all the time, and I could really feel just like I could be working on the computer, for example, for like 2-3 hours nonstop, and then feel very drained after so many hours on the computer. And then the moment I would just take my shoes off and go for a walk on the beach with my dog, and even for a swim, I would immediately come back feeling light as a feather and recharged, and would sleep very, very, very deeply that night. Okay, so give yourself permission to spend time out in nature. Number 5, engage in creative projects that you enjoy. When was the last time you did something creative where you lost complete sense of time, where you just lost yourself in? By engaging in a creative project that awakens your sense of curiosity and wonder and trying to figure it out how it works, that can also be a fun way to reconnect with your inner child that lives inside your heart. Because remember, that's where your inner child lives. Okay. And this inner child, for many of us, is also quite wounded. And oftentimes this wounded inner child within us really don't want to even manifest or express themselves. So art can be a wonderful way to start reconnecting with that aspect of ourselves and allowing ourselves to express a lot of what has been withheld or repressed inside of us. Okay, so do something creative that awakens your sense of wonder and your creativity. For me, one of the things I love doing is I love doing like handiwork, work with my hands. I like to work with my hands. I play music as well, but I like to draw. I like to paint. I like to build things with wood. Pretty much my whole studio. I mean, I installed the floors here. I never installed wooden floors ever my whole life. Thanks YouTube for that, by the way, because that's where I learned how to do it. Literally, you can learn pretty much anything these days, anything creative, through YouTube or places like Skillshare and Udemy. Okay, so find something creative, and if you can do it, if you can engage and do it with a group of people, then do that. Even more so. Number 6. And this is the realm which many of us, or what brought us here together. Recite a prayer or a mantra. Many of you are here because you heard my guided prayers and meditations, right? Like the Jesus prayer, the prayer of the heart, for example. So praying or reciting one of your favorite mantras can help raise your vibrational frequency and transmute a lot of the negative emotions that can keep you from truly feeling connected to yourself. You can pray as simply as the rosary. Okay, the rosary lifts your vibrational frequency, according to Dr. David Hawkins, all the way up to the energy of 500, which is the energy of unconditional love. Reciting the Lord's Prayer, reciting one of my favorite mantras, for example, that I sing in all of my ceremonies is the Om Namo Gurudev Namo, which basically says, I now bow to the divine presence that lives within me. Okay, so it doesn't matter what your tradition is. What matters is you find something that invites you to start to using the power of your voice, the power of your feelings, your emotions, and the intention to connect to something higher than yourself through the power of prayer and or repeating a mantra. Right? It will have a profound effect on you. This is, for me, probably this one and spending time in nature are probably the two fastest way, or the two most common ways that I utilize to connect with my heart. Okay, next one. Number 7, and the last one. Meditate on the truth inside your heart. In essence, take time regularly to find a quiet place where you're not going to be disturbed. And there, in the stillness of that moment, listen to your heartbeat. Begin by listening to the physical heartbeat as you begin to breathe into your heart slowly, deeply, and evenly. And then from that space, as you connect with the heart, then you can enter the process of asking your heart, my heart, what is it that you would like me to know? What is the lesson in this particular situation is teaching me? What insight can you give me with regards to this particular problem or issue that I'm dealing with right now? And then as you ask your heart these questions, be sure also to listen. Now, I find that most people who are new to this heart awakening awareness or heart center work have not really understood the steps that are required when it comes to really meditating on your heart and learning how to follow your heart's wisdom. And, part of it has to do because the majority of us have become very disconnected, and we really don't have a place to go to, or any teacher that can really tell us, like, well, how do you connect and really listen to your heart? I mean, when I started this work, there were very few people that you could go to, and it's one of the reasons why I think I made it I set it up as an intention to start creating material and guided meditations and videos to teach people how to connect to their hearts, so that then from that place, then they could connect with their greater dimension within themselves. So what I want to do now is I want to share with you the 5 steps that are involved if you want to really follow your heart's guidance and direction. Okay. And the steps are very simple. There are only 5 of them. And I want you to think of, as I explain these steps, I want you to think of these as no different than when you plug in your computer. Okay. Think of it as your heart as a supercomputer. Well, your entire consciousness is a supercomputer, and your heart, one of the key parts, is the brain. And so in and on its own, it's a system that is very limited, like a computer that is not connected to the internet. It's a wonderful machine. There's only so much that you can do with your computer when it's not connected to the internet, right? But when you connect the computer through some kind of an internet connection, whether if it's a cable or Wi-Fi, to a whole network of information, then the possibilities are limitless. So I want you to think that you are no different. When you are disconnected, your resources become very limited, right? But when you begin to increase your heart connection and begin connected to the totality and to the energy field that is basically the infinite mind of the divine, then from that space, you can begin to tap now into a higher set of resources. So what do you do when you have your computer and you want to plug it in and connect it to the fast internet? Well, you open it, right? You turn it on, then you connect it to the cable, to the internet connection, right? You switch the Wi-Fi on. And then from there, what do? You type in some kind of an inquiry like Google, okay? How do you heal a common cold? Okay, and then after you send an inquiry, what happens? You wait. And what are you doing while that's happening? Well, you're listening. And the computer at the same time is also in a state of being receptive, is receiving all this information from all these vast resources. And then out of that, then you're giving all these different possibilities. And then what do? Well, you choose one and then you follow, right? You take action on that. So connecting with the hearts is no different than that, except that the process happens when we first number one, open the heart by bringing the attention, the focus awareness into the heart. And notice that in every one of my guided meditations, the very first thing I invite you to do is to close your eyes and then to bring one hand over to the heart and then to begin to breathe into the heart. And every time that we do this, what we're doing is, in essence, is we're opening this connection, right? The breath into the heart energizes the heart. I want you to think of like, when you start breathing now, nice, long, and deep, at that moment, there's a sense of opening that happens. Okay, where the majority of us at any given time, we're thinking about the future or we're breathing very shallow. All right, what really happens the moment you slow down, bring the awareness to the body and breathe very deep. And at that moment, you bring your awareness to the 2 main rhythms within the body, the heartbeat and the respiration, both located in the heart chakra. At that moment, there's a sense of opening. Now, at that moment, you are ready now for the next level, which is now connection. Now, the connection happens is through the power of our intention and then also through the power of the feeling. It is when we activate the feeling of gratitude or appreciation. It is at that moment when there is an energetic shift of awareness of magnetism in the heart. Okay. And so at that moment, your heart literally begins to vibrate at the frequency of 0.1 hertz. This is the research of the Institute of Heart Math. And then at that moment, you could really sense it is through these feelings of care, gratitude, appreciation, even the feeling of compassion, that you begin to open up now to a vast set of resources. And then from that space, once you've established that connection, then you can now ask your question. You can ask your heart, my heart, can you give me an insight with regards to this? My heart, can you show me what is really, really going on underneath this situation or this person? My heart, what is the most loving thing I can do for myself? My heart. And I want to invite you to, as you do this process, that to always refer to my heart, or your heart rather, as my heart. I know this sounds like a Jerry and Costello, like who's on first, who's on second, that kind of thing. So the idea is that connect with your heart, and then there, relate to your heart as a you. Address it as a you. My heart. What do you think? What do you feel? What are you longing for? What is your deeper desire? Okay, engage that communication. One of the things that we do in my Path of the Heart seminars is we awaken or rediscover the presence of the magical child that lives inside of the heart, as well as the wounded child that lives inside of the heart. And so rather than saying that in my heart, we refer to as my child in my heart. And so the essence is the same. In order to really to begin to communicate with this aspect of ourselves, we call it out by its name. And then you ask the question. And then after you ask the question, it's very important that you now switch into a completely different way of being, which is a receptive way of being, where all you're going to do is you're just going to become now receptive to what begins to show up. Welcoming whatever thoughts, images, because your heart normally, I find, speaks very succinctly. Your heart will deliver to you an image. Your heart will deliver to you sometimes a metaphor. Sometimes if you're very auditive, you're going to actually hear some words. Sometimes it comes in the forms of a feeling. Like a lot of people, for example, when they're asking yes, no type of questions, they'll get a very strong feeling in the body. And that's an absolute, that is an absolute indication, or it's an indication that it's an absolute yes. Like your heart is just saying yes. Okay. Or sometimes when it's a no, it's a sense of like you feel like the energy closing around the heart. So you want to listen to all those things. You want to listen basically with the totality of your being. And then once the answers begin to come, and again, the answer will come differently for everybody, then it's very important that you then choose an action and then follow through. In other words, take action. Do not wait. All right. If you get a message from your heart that says, call this person, do this thing, send this email, do this, do that. It's like, do it right away. And the reason why this is so important is because your heart is connected to a network or to a web of information that is constant, giving you information in real time. In other words, it cannot give you information about the future. Like, what are the lottery numbers? I wish you could do that, but it doesn't. It gives you information about right here and right now, giving all the possibilities that are available to you at this moment. Okay. So this is why it's so important that then when you receive information from your heart, that you act right away. Do not wait. Okay. Because when 2 days later or 2 weeks later, what could happen is that there's now a whole different situation, and the answer that may have been true 2 weeks ago may no longer apply. Again, go back. If that were to be the case, I would recommend that you go back into your heart and then go through the exact same process of inquiry. All right, so there you have it. Okay, the 7 very specific ways in which you can connect with your heart, and then the actual 5 steps of following your heart's guidance. Now, in a moment, we're going to practice exactly how to do this. I'll be guiding you through this process. However, as I said before, some of you who are listening to this masterclass may be okay with just doing the work that we're doing here right now, and this might be enough for you. But I know that some of you might want to go deeper. And for those of you who would like to go deeper, I want to mention 3 possible next steps that you could take. And these all are part of the groups or training programs that we're now offering at the Heart Leader Academy. So if you want to take this work further, the first option is you could join the Heart Mastery Circle, which is our month-to-month membership program for people who would like to learn the fundamental practices and principles of heart-centered living. This is a new program that launched nearly, 3 weeks ago already. Now, the next level of that, if you want to go even deeper, a little bit deeper than that, it's joining the Heart Warrior Training Program, which is a 3-month group training program in emotional self-mastery, shadow integration, and compassionate communication. Okay. And then for people that want to go the whole 9 yards and want to actually complete the entire 9-month curriculum, which involves really learning all these nice skills of heart leadership, then there is the 9-month certified group training program in heart intelligence coaching and heart-centered leadership, which is the flagship training program, which is in essence the program that gave birth to this academy. Now, if any of you feels called to go deeper into this work and you like to do it with me, then you can go to my website, gabrielgonsalves.com/programs, where you can read more about each one of these programs, look at the actual specific curriculum for each one of them, specifically what we cover, the time investment required, the financial investment requirement, everything that's included, etc. And then if you feel like you may still have some doubts about whether this is the right program for you or not, there's also a place within the website where you can click on a button and request a conversation with me, where I can help you decide what is the best program for you given where you're at. All right, as I promised, let's practice now. Let's move again into this heart-centered awareness. And since it's the time of the full moon, this is the perfect time to do this kind of a process. So what I want to do now is invite you now to literally switch your mindset from the left brain to the right brain. The past 35 minutes have all been about information. So let's move now into the application of what we just learned so that we can then experience the transformation. Transformation normally requires application of the information. Okay. As you're sitting there now, take a moment to just do a quick scan of your physical body. Beginning from the top of the head, moving down through the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, down to the chin. We're just simply bringing the awareness to these different parts of the body. The neck and the shoulders. The heart area. And right there, as we get to the heart, we place a hand over the heart. It doesn't matter which hand. Place a hand right there, almost as if saying, gotcha. And then we move down the awareness now to the belly, the pelvic area, moving down through the legs, down to the knees, down to the toes. We wiggle the little toes a bit. And all we're doing right now is we're bringing the focus awareness to the body, remembering once again the way to the heart is through the body. That's why all these different ways of connecting with the heart involves movement, touch, sound, hugs. Everything involves moving into the senses, moving into the feelings. It is through the connection with the body that we access our hearts, and through our hearts, our soul's wisdom. Now we begin to breathe slowly, deeply, and evenly in and out of the heart. And as you breathe slow, deep, and even, maintain your connection with the physical body, aware of the heartbeat, aware of the breath, the two main rhythms of the body. With every breath that you take inside, feel as if your heart is opening more and more and more. You can imagine, if you will, that inside of your heart there is a rose, a pink rose. And as you begin to breathe into the heart, as the rose just opens up, you can feel the chest expanding. This is the first step. This is the opening of the heart. This is why opening the heart requires that we feel safe. This is when we feel safe, we open our hearts. When we feel safe, we breathe deeply. When we are in the presence of someone we love, we lay down our guard and we yawn. We give ourselves permission to do things that we would not do. This is why a yawn is a wonderful expression of somebody who is moving into their hearts. Opening it more and more and more. This is like a computer that has been switched off and is now on and is now being powered. And you say, my heart is on right now. Oh, good. I'm present. I'm in my body. I'm breathing. I feel this feeling of openness in my chest. My mind is beginning to relax. My thoughts are starting to become slower. And now I'm ready for the second step, which is now really to connect. And to connect our hearts to the universal source of all wisdom. We imagine, we feel, we see a cord that connects our heart to the heart of God. Or a laser, a light beam, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you see, feel this connection. You're connecting to the heart of the cosmos, the source of all life. And as you feel, see, and imagine this connection, imagine now that with every breath that you're drawing in, you're sucking up all that goodness into your heart. Just like a little hummingbird goes out and takes all the sweetness from the flower. Imagine the little hummingbird in you is just going, sucking up all the goodness from the heart of God, the divine. And as you do this, take a moment also to feel appreciation, feel gratitude. That there is a loving intelligence in which you live, breathe, and have your being. That knows that it knows that it knows that you are right here and right now. One with the heart of God. For there is no place where the heart of God is not. The heart of God's center is everywhere. The circumference of the heart of God is nowhere. It's infinite. As you feel this feeling of gratitude, and as you continue to nurture your heart with the love, wisdom, and power from the heart of God, allow me to speak the following prayer on your behalf. In the name of the Father, the Mother, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. In the name of the archangels of heaven. In the name of the Sacred Heart of Christ. In the name of the Immaculate Heart of Mother Mary. In the name of the Golden Heart of Buddha. The jewel inside the temple of Brahman. Speaking on behalf of everyone here, I connect, attune, and unify my heart to the infinitely loving heart of God. That knowing that my heart is the heart of God. I and the Father are one. I and the Mother are one. I and the cosmos are one. We're one in the heart of God. Mighty I am presence bright in the heart of God. Awaken the threefold flame of love, wisdom, and power inside us all. Let the presence of the living Christ, and only the presence of the living Christ, dwell supremely here and now. May this light bring healing to all the places that need healing within our hearts. May that light dissolve all blocks, real and unreal, that keep us from communing with the heart of God and reclaiming our divine nature as the sons and daughters of God. Knowing that within our hearts there is an intelligence that knows that it knows the answer to every question, the solution to every problem. And that right here and right now, through and by means of this heart connection, divine wisdom is being made available to us. We give thanks for this connection. And take a moment now to commune with this connection. This connection is what the master teacher, Jesus the Christ, called the I Am. In the state of unity with the heart of God, the I am that I am in God, which is in me and in every person here right now. I now ask my heart, what are you longing for right now? My heart, what are you longing for right now? As we ask these questions, be sure to listen, truly listen, letting go of your idea of how the answer should come, letting the answer flow naturally without making it happen. My heart, what is God or the divine asking from me right now? Who am I being called to be in this next stage of my life? My heart, my heart, my heart, what would you have me do in these situations in my life where I'm experiencing pain, fear, or anger? My heart, how can I bring healing to this relationship? My heart, what truth am I finally ready to face about my life? My heart, how can I live in greater alignment with how God sees me? My heart, what do I still need to let go of? And finally, release from my life. My heart, what is it that you'd like me to know? In the name I am that I am, my Holy Christ Self, and the I am presence and Holy Christ Self of everyone here today, I give thanks for this divine connection that is available through my heart. And I call divine assistance to, from this moment forward, strengthen my heart's connection to my source. May the silver cord that connects my heart to the heart of God be strengthened, restored, revitalized, and amplified as much as heaven's law will allow. That through this increased connection, I may become more open and available to more divine goodness, love, joy, compassion, prosperity, abundance, and love. May my connection amplify also the connection of my loved ones and everyone who comes my way. That they may feel the presence of God flowing through me, and that the presence of God in me may help awaken the presence of God in them. May my light give their light permission to shine brightly. And may this awakening be the awakening of the world. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. I am thy kingdom come. I am thy will being done. I am on earth even as I am also in heaven. I am giving this day daily bread to all. I am forgiving all of life even as I am also all of life forgiven me. I am keeping all men from temptation. I am delivering all men from every evil condition. I am the kingdom. I am the power. I am the glory of God in eternal, immortal manifestation in my heart. I and the Father are one. I and the Mother are one. I am one with the heart of God. And so it is, and it is so. Amen. All right. We are arriving now at the end of our time together. Can't believe the whole 1 hour went by so quickly. My goodness. Well, that's what happens when you're in your heart, the heart of the moment, and the heart of love, and the heart of joy. How are you feeling? Can you type in one word that describes how are you feeling right now, this moment? I'm laughing because there's a message from Irish that says, "No, I got the time wrong." I was like, "Is that how you're feeling right now, this moment?" uh, okay. Francesca says, "I'm feeling aligned." Rebecca says, "I'm feeling peace and blessings, love among us." And over in Denmark says, "I feel great." Leela says, "Thank you so much, Gabs. Have a blessed Sunday." Karen says, "No time, no space. She feels spaced out, thankful, relieved." Suzanne Taylor says she feels relief. Yeah, beautiful. Wonderful. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone, for making time out of your busy Sunday to come and learn more about what does it take to follow your heart. Today, learn 7 unique ways in which you can connect more with your heart, feel more powerful, more connected to yourself, to your body, to your own inner sense of power. Also, the 5 essential steps. Remember what they were? Open, connect, ask, listen, follow. Getting lost is an important part of the path. Okay. That is actually what helps you stay on the path. That is the paradox. You need to keep getting lost in order to keep finding your path. And every time you get back into your path, your connection with the path becomes stronger. So the important thing is not getting lost. The important thing is that the moment you realize and awake to the reality that you're feeling lost and disconnected at that moment, you do whatever is possible for you to find that connection again, and then know that every time you find your way back, that connection becomes stronger, stronger, stronger. It's like a muscle that you're building. All right, for those of you who, again, want to take the next step and you want to do this with me, go to my website, gabrielgonsalves.com, and then look up under programs or group trainings. And there you can look at the 3 options that I shared with you earlier. There's the option of joining the Heart Mastery Circle. And obviously, many of you are already here because you are part of that circle. And And if not, if you want to do something a little bit deeper, then there's a Heart Warrior training program that starts on October 12th, and then the Heart Leader training program that begins on October the 14th, right after we get back from walking the Camino. In case you don't know, this year I'm going to be walking the first Camino, taking a small group of people, 7. Some of you are actually here on this call. So I'm so very much looking forward. We're now about, exactly a month away, almost a month away. All right. So in the meantime, are there any questions about anything that I shared? I'm happy to stay here a few extra moments to answer any questions you guys may have. Teresa says, I love the I Am version of the Lord's Prayer. Will this be available as a recording so I can listen again? Yes, this will be available as a recording. And just so you know, the I Am version, it's Elizabeth Clare Prophet's version. Okay, that it's in all her teachings, so the Ascended Master teacher teachings. If you Google I Am Lord's Prayer, you will find it. Okay, it's become my favorite prayer. In fact, I recite it almost every night before I go to bed. It brings me back in touch again with the I Am within me before I fall asleep. So yes, it will be here. I'm happy to put a link to it when I add all the PowerPoint presentation, the slides, for anybody that wants to have access to it, so you can have access to this information again later on. Val Barker says, thank you so much. I feel aligned with source energy and connected with the collective. My heart is full of joy. Beautiful. Thank you. Teresa says, Teresa, I already shared that. Francesca says, I'm currently manifesting the extra abundance needed to take more of your courses. That's amazing. Wonderful, Francesca. I love that. Emmanuel says, Corazon open flowing. Emmanuel, you're speaking Spanglish. You sound like me. Beautiful. And Oren Denmark says, so lovely to be reminded of all my training with you. Yes, so some of you guys who've done some of my trainings, you don't notice that I get very repetitive, but that is the nature of things. I keep repeating things over and over again because that's how the brain learns. Luke says, you're amazing, from Georgia. And Luke, oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you very much, Luke. And Stewart says, thank you so much. This was really good. Beautiful. All right, wonderful. I don't see any more questions other than all your love. I feel so showered by your love. So thank you so much. All right. So just a final reminder that every Wednesday I host a weekly heart stream. It's pretty much delivered this exact same way through this exact same platform on both the YouTube Live within the Academy as well, and then also on Facebook Live. And we initiated a cycle quite a few weeks ago already on healing the 7 chakras through the power of the heart. And this past Wednesday, we're now started working with the heart chakra. So you could say we're almost halfway through this series, and we explore the healing of the heart at the physical and the mental level. But then next week, which I believe is on the 25th, I think, Wednesday the 25th, we'll be now diving into the part 2 of healing the heart chakra. But this time we're going to be focusing on the emotional and spiritual aspect. When we deal with the emotional and spiritual aspect, it inevitably means that we're going to be working with forgiveness and then with compassion, rising above situations that may have closed our heart chakra, and then bringing much needed healing to the areas within the heart that have literally closed, right? And so this is happening this coming Wednesday at the Heart Stream. The Heart Stream happens every Wednesday at 12 noon U.S. Eastern Time. All right, Animation Person says, how can you connect with you for one-on-one? Email me. Go to my website, GabrielGonsalves.com, and there, click on the contact tab on the menu, and there you'll have you can you'll look at my email, or you can fill out a form, and the form will come straight into my inbox. Okay. All right, my beautiful friends. Thank you again for spending time with me this Sunday, wherever you are in the world, or all the places, I should say, that you are in the world, because you did share the many places where you are dialing in or connecting in from. I wish you a fantastic rest of your Sunday. Okay. Take this information that you received today, apply it, embody, start doing some of those 7 things to help you establish a deeper connection with your heart. Spend time with your loved ones, spend time in nature, meditate in your heart, recite some prayers and affirmations, sing, dance, hug, pet. All right. And continue to continue also to be part of this community. This is also an important part. I did not mention it in the as one of the 7, but I guess you could say it counts. It's part of spending time with people that you love and feel safe with. All right, so until we connect again, I send you all my love from my heart to yours. And again, thank you for today and spending time with me. Bye-bye for now.